What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic one time for the one time. We back in the building. You know, shout out to everybody that covered the fight. I can't get to all the notifications, especially on Facebook. It's too many, but I try to get as many as I can to comment back with everybody. And YouTube be tripping because they always don't send me y'all notifications until I get them all at once when they appear on my laptop. So I try to get back to y'all as soon as possible, but I do be acknowledging the comments. Try to get back with y'all as much as possible to form them relationships and shit. And I got some good things that's on the horizon as well. Shout out to everybody that covered the fight last night. From Dante's Boxing Nation was there. Fight Hype had an immediate reaction there. Alex sat back, E News. He was the live press conference. Boxing Ego, all those good ass guys that was there giving us live coverage. But let's get into the review of the fight. The reaction is just immediate reaction to the fight. Just just the takeaway, and pretty much the review is pretty much the whole event in a whole. Talk a little bit more about the fight, and then all the festivities and the press conference that happened, and everybody, fighters, fans, media reaction, all those good things, and that's the primary difference. But shout out to Andre SOG Award for getting a job done last night. For people who, scoring the fight bullshit again, like Harold Letterman, who said again last night that, Andre Ward can't win a fight going backwards. Yes, you can. Just because you coming forward don't mean you effective or having ring generalship. And I say this over and over again. But before the stoppage, I think I had Andre Ward up 1 point. I seen Paulie card as well. He scored the first round a even round, and he scored another round an even round. But we had the same scorecard heading into the sixth. But the pretty much the difference of this fight was Andre Ward's physical fitness. In the point where Kovalev was starting to fade because Andre Ward stepped the pace up. That's one of the things I said he had to do, is step the pace up and start the body attack early and sustain it at a high level. And that's exactly what he did. I'm not diminishing anything that Sergey Kovalev did last night because he wasn't getting blown out the water. You could easily have him up again. I picked him for a 10th round knockout. I thought he would come out more aggressive. I thought they would work on cutting the ring off, and really, kind of varying the jab, trying to change the angle of the jab a little bit and the speed of the jab. But he kept throwing the same jab. He was successful with it. But I thought he should have just changed the speed on it or just did something different with the jab. And Andre Ward started to jab with him and trying to take that away down the stretch, but he was painting him with the jab still. But I thought he should have did a little bit of something different. But he still can close the distance on Ward. He still continued to follow him around the ring. And I'm not saying it's easy to close the distance on Ward. But at times when he had Ward in close corners, he let him slide out the back door once again all night. He was able to, like a joystick, go whichever way he wanted to go. Kovalev was throwing hard body shots as well. That's something that looked like him and his team put some emphasis on, but it wasn't sustained. He'd throw a hard body shot here, and he would never put them together. And I think if he would have put them together, he could have slowed Andre Ward down a little bit more. But in a time around the 6th, 7th, 8th round, where a time where he was starting to fade, Andre Ward was starting to step it up, and it was apparent, even before Andre Ward landed the first low blow in the 6th round, I think it was, but it was apparent that Andre Ward was becoming more stronger, and Kovalev was starting to fade. He couldn't fight at that pace, and whatever reason that is, if it's because Virgil Hunter said he likes to enjoy vodka, or whatever his vices is outside the ring, or maybe it's just a genetic thing where, he can't fight at that high pace for that long, and it proves to be the difference maker. His fitness and the body work of Andre Ward chose to be the difference maker. You can cry about the low blows all you want. A lot of those low blows was on the white belt, the belt line. And the majority of that belt line is the stomach. It's still the stomach. Look at the stomach tucked away as well as Andre Ward. It's stomach under that belt line. It's still your stomach all the way down to your hip until you reach your genital area. And the 6th round, that was low. See, right there, that's not a low blow. That's still on the stomach, It's not a low blow. But, the 6th round, he really did hit him with a low blow. I think Tony Weeks waved it off. That was a legit low blow that he hit him with. And that was the start of the conversation of the low blow. I think it was the 6th round. But in the eighth round, after let's talk about the stoppage. Kovalev shouldn't have been bending over. You know why he's bending over? Because he was looking for a way out. Andre Ward just clocked him with 2 good right hands to the head. You know, he said he slapped like a bitch. He slapped like a woman, whatever you want to say. And Andre Ward he was looking for a way out anyway. He was looking away to quit. He couldn't hang. He couldn't fight at that pace. Andre Ward even stepped the pace up and started earlier, stepping the pace up early in the fight. And they knew that Kovalev didn't like fighting at a high level pace, you know, especially when he's not accustomed to keeping guys off of him. Guys don't jump on Kovalev like Ward did. Kovalev is the guy that controls the pace, controls the action in the fight. That's him. His power usually shakes other fighters, and it didn't shake this former super middleweight at all. So, you know, so when he's punching you back and make you miss a lot of punches, you're losing a lot of stamina there, and he missed a lot of punches that night, especially when you throw with the authority he throws with, because he punches through the target. That was the issue for the pretty much fact. The missed punches. Nobody's talking about that. When you miss as many punches as he did last night, and you throw as hard as he did last night, you're going to get tired. You know, you're going to get tired. And you know, the body work and the pace Andre Ward set was a difference maker. Yes, one of those blows on the knockdown was low, but at the end of the day, Kovalev put himself in that position to get low by bending over and trying to concede that he didn't want any more body work. When you bend over like that, everything is fair game, because you can't bend over like that in the sport of boxing. So it wasn't a foul on the knockdown or the knockout. It wasn't a foul on the technical knockout. If you bending over like that, you know, you're trying to cover your body like that, you can't do that. So Andre Ward had every right. If he wanted to continue to go to the body, even if you hit low, because Kovalev is bending over and trying to tell you that he don't want the body work no more. You know, he wasn't bending over because Andre Ward hit him with a low blow. He's bent over because he was fucking tired. He bent over when he got knocked over to that side of the ring because he conceded that he didn't like the body work, you know. So after that, it's fair game. If Andre Ward hit him, you know, in the nuts, it's fair game. Because the simple fact is you can't bend over like that in the fight. And in simple fact, he had too much pride to take the knee. That's on him. That's on him for not taking the knee. But Terrence Crawford was there in attendance. You know, a lot of guys, Shakur Stevenson, Brian Jennings, everybody like what they see from Andre Ward, his lovely wife right there with Max Kellerman, and he stepped it up. He proved to you guys that this dude is an all-time great, legendary. You know, a lot of you guys want to say, oh, he can't be pound for pound number one. The fight with Kovalev was too close. Fuck that. He's pound for pound number one. When you base off the resume and the skills and the eyeball test, he's the best fighter in the world. These other guys have not been battle tested like him. Triple G, you know, Lomachenko, Terrence Crawford, they haven't fought their Sergey Kovalev. They haven't fought their Carl Froch. They haven't fought somebody that appears to be their equal in the skills department in boxing. You know, when you fight your equal peer, that tells you how good you are. When you fight another great fighter, none of those guys have fought another great fighter. The only guy that's on the pound for pound list that's fought another great fighter, you know, if you have him on the pound for pound list, is Canelo Alvarez, you know, Manny Pacquiao, Guillermo Rigondeaux. That's still in the game. I might be missing somebody else. You know, those are the other guys that fought another great fighter. You know, Rigondeaux fought Donaire. He was pound for pound when he beat him. When you fight your equal, when somebody can look you dead in the eye and y'all on the same level, that tells me how great you are when you separate yourself from another great fighter. You know, there's no ifs, ands, dams about it. He's the best fighter in the world. He's been the best fighter in the world due to inactivity and promotional issues and bad business moves outside of the sport of boxing. Inside of the sport of boxing. You know, he did it to himself. He should have been reigning long over the sport of boxing for a long time, even when Floyd Mayweather was coming out the back door and Pacquiao was leaving the back door. You know, it's ushering in, I'm going to do a video on this, it's ushering in a new era of American, you know, boxing, you know. You know, most guys don't want to go to the Olympics. They want to be a world champion and make money nowadays. And this is, in American boxing is in great hands. You know, with him, with Andre Ward, I'm giving him respect, Terrence Crawford, you know, Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, they got this. They got this. Floyd Mayweather, you could just beat McGregor, fall out. Pacquiao, you know, we don't need you here no more. Unless you're going to fight the best. McGill, Cotto, all these other guys. The American boxing is good, and I mention those guys because they primary fight on American TV, and they're adopted by the United States, and they do all their fights here and sell out all their fights. So that's why I'm saying those guys' names if you don't remember. Shout out to Andre Ward for getting the job done, and shout out to everybody who who supported the fight and just, you know, paid their bets up and didn't make no complaints. And everybody that made the excuses and complaints and cried about the shit, eat a dick, you know. But at the end of the day, American boxing is in great hands. You know, the Charlo brothers, everybody that's doing their thing. Robert Easter Jr., I'm proud of all of them. I'm proud of Andre Ward for doing what he got to do. And for Kovalev, I hope he bounces back and doesn't, take a long layoff like Victor Postol. I would love to see him in the ring again.